What's up everyone, Emerald here from Emerald's Daily Carry, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Jollying Pebble 24-inch check-in luggage. This is available right now in 8 different colors and has a retail price of $389. One of the main features of this bag is that it can collapse in on itself, saving you a ton of space when storing, but how does it hold up to the regular rigors of travel? Stick around to find out if there are any compromises that you have to give up with this unique design. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel, we like to talk about backpacks, sling bags, and everything in between because we believe that everything in life is between you and the perfect bag. This bag was sent to me from Jollying for free in exchange for a review. No money exchanged hands, all opinions are my own, and they did not get to see this video before it was published. Starting out with the basics first, this is a 24-inch check-in suitcase with the listed expanded external dimensions of 27.17 inches tall, 19.29 inches wide, and 11.2 inches wide when expanded. Folded, we get a depth measurement of 4.33 inches. So you're looking at a total depth savings of about 87%, which is pretty significant. The listed weight of this bag is 9.92 pounds, which is honestly pretty impressive because I've seen some carry-on luggage weighing about that much. Now, normally at this part of the review, I would fill this bag with beans to measure its actual capacity. Unfortunately, this bag is a monster and I don't own enough beans to even take a real crack at this, and we're balling on a budget over here. If you want to help support the channel so that one day we have a warehouse full of beans, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. We do, however, know that the listed volume is 86 liters, which Jollying says is good for a 4 to 7 day trip or 10 to 15 pieces of clothing. Unless you're bringing with you 10 to 15 heavy coats, I think that you can definitely fit way more than 15 pieces of clothing in this bag. As for our actual measurements, let's check out the dimensions. So including the wheels, we're about at 25 inches. So I think that their measurement of 23 inches is probably just accounting for the case. Your wheels are about 3 inches. Your wheels are about 3 inches of that. As for the width of the bag, we're getting about, again, 19-ish inches is correct just for the case, but there's a little bit of additional width here just because of all of the extra material. So if we're accounting for that, you're looking more at like about 20 inches. For the depth measurement, it's spot on about 4.5 inches deep when it's compressed. And in its uncompressed form, we're getting about 10 inches in depth, and you can confirm that on this side. So for the depth measurement, it's actually a little bit overstated than what the website says. Let's check out one of the bag's main features, which has to do with how you store it. Hello there. So the main unique selling feature of this bag has to do with its low profile design, meaning that this thing doesn't take up your entire closet when it's stored. I think for me personally, this is one of the main reasons why I've never bothered with check-in bags before, because it's such a waste of space when it's not in use, which it will be more often than you're using it. It even comes with this slip cover that has a hook at the top so that you can hang it in your closet. I will warn you though that this hook is really not that deep and it wouldn't fit in my, I would say, pretty normal girth closet pole. So just keep that in mind. I think that you can probably find a luggage hanger that fits the bill if this solution doesn't work for you. Kind of bummed out that this couldn't perform the way that it was intended for this specific use case. The slip cover is a great addition for storage so that your case doesn't get more scuffed up. I did notice that this polycarbonate is a scratch magnet. It does come with a buff pad, but that should just give you an indication that even Jollying knows that this thing is pretty soft. This luggage has a really cool collapsible design that we've already talked about, but here's how it works. Each side has a plastic frame sheet and a button attachment. If you have any amount of grip strength, then this is an easy peasy install process, but I don't, so sometimes I get stuck trying to put enough tension on these buttons to snap it in. Once you have them all snapped in place, your luggage is good to go. I was slightly worried about the structural integrity of this case, but I actually used this case to move across the country and had a 15-pound bowling ball and a full 40-pound bag of pinto beans in it. I was honestly worried about the weight of what I was putting in here, bending the plastic frame sheets that are holding this thing together, but it took it like a champ. As far as what this softer exterior material is made out of, the website says it's made out of an Oxford cloth, which is supposed to be water resistant, scratch resistant, and splash proof. It is not puncture proof, so if you have something sharp inside or outside, you can still poke holes into this thing, but as long as you're not ramming into sharp knives, you should be fine. Jollying actually won the prestigious iF Design Award for this luggage in 2022, and it is a patented design in Japan. And collapsing it is super easy as well, so you're just gonna detach all of the buttons. The sides will just collapse. And then here are the magnets that kind of hold the sides together. And then, you would zip it up but just to show you where I put it normally, it just slides right under my bed. I do put the slip cover on it as well before I store it, but just to show you like what it looks like without the slip cover on, there you go. Let's get back to the studio so we can pack this thing out. This bag is so much larger than what I would normally carry with me that I don't even really know where to start in terms of packing it out. So I'm just gonna pretend that I'm gonna have to live out of this thing indefinitely, and what would I bring with me for that adventure? All right, so we have our case fully expanded out. So the one great thing about this bag that I really like is that it's a bucket style loader. So all of the contents are gonna go inside of this side of the bag. It has all of the depth in it. It's not having the depth into two separate compartments. And I'm just gonna fill it with a bunch of stuff because I don't really know how much it's gonna fit. I don't really have a concept of what 84 liters actually means because I never travel with check-in luggage, but let's just see. So I have my Peak Design packing cube set. This is the large and the medium cube. I just filled it with as many shirts, pants, underwear, socks that I could. So this is probably at least 2 weeks worth of clothes for me. While we're at it, let's just add another one. This is an Eagle Creek packing cube on top. Maybe I need an extra pair of shoes. So there's an extra pair of shoes in a Peak Design shoe pouch. Look at how much extra space we still have. Here is a Peak Design tech kit. It's pretty filled out to the max. So I'm just using this as a toiletry kit. So let's just say you also want to take some pictures. I have the Peak Design small camera pouch with me as well. This video is not sponsored by Peak Design. I just really like their pouches, but this does fit a Sony a7S III with a 24 to 70 millimeter lens on it. That is what I'm using to shoot this video right now, but it does fit in here. There you go. Let's just say you need even more toiletries. Here's another toiletry bag from Matador. And you also need your camera bag when you go to your destination and you want to take some pictures. So this is kitted out with an alpaca shoulder strap for a little bit more ease of carry. And I still have all of this extra room over here. So let's also say that I need to bring a bowling ball with me. This is my actual bowling ball. I was a bowler in my youth, and I sometimes occasionally go bowling. So that's a 15-pound bowling ball right there. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if it'll zip up. These also have my bowling shoes in it. Oh, hold on a second. I forgot that I have these compression straps. So let me see, just so that you all know there's a bowling ball in there, and I'm not lying. It's a 15-pound bowling ball, and I think that maybe my shoes can go here. All right. So maybe it's slightly overstuffed. I do think all of this can fit. It just needs to get rearranged slightly. So let me just try instead to fit the bowling ball like this. Yeah, because I think that what we were running into is depth-wise, it was a little bit too deep. And then I'm just gonna pack all of my stuff around it. Oh my gosh, I think we can do it, y'all. Okay, so this is not gonna fit inside, but I think that this is gonna be a really great test to kind of see, you know, I think one of my worries about this particular bag is because that it has soft sides, you know, like can it withstand weight? I would say a bowling ball is pretty heavy. It's literally just pure weight. I'm really curious to see how this Oxford material is gonna hold up with all of that weight, but That is what 86 liters of stuff looks like on camera, y'all. It is pretty massive. Now that we have our bag fully loaded, it's time to test out its durability and handling skills here in the wild. Voiceover Emerald here to tell you a little bit more about this bag while we watch these wheels go over a ton of uneven surfaces during our testing. Speaking of wheels, Jollying calls these silent universal wheels, which are supposed to produce a max of 45 decibels when rolling it. You can be the judge of that. This luggage bag also has YKK zippers and a TSA lock. Sometimes I would get caught at the bottom where the wheels are because this case actually opens with those two wheels on the flap side of the main compartment. I didn't personally care for the style of the zipper pullers. It's sort of shaped like a thumb indentation, but I'm really used to the normal flat zipper puller design and found that these to be slightly harder to grab onto. They don't impede the functionality of the zipper line, and here's what they look like in the TSA lock. There's a little J mark for Jollying, which is a pretty nice touch. There are 3 handles on the bag, one on the top, side, and a sewn handle on the bottom. In testing, these handles performed well, but just a note that none of these handles are accessible when the case is collapsed. In terms of returns and warranties, Jollying gives you a standard but very lacking 30-day return window and expects the bag in new condition with the tags attached. You get an extended 100-day exchange window though. In the first year, it's a worry-free warranty that covers accidental damage from airlines or manufacturer defects, and in year 2 and 3, it drops to just manufacturing defects. As always, check their website for their most up-to-date policies. But look, this case is handling the weight pretty well. Coming in at $389, this case is $50 to $100 more than your average 24-inch check-in, so you're gonna have to decide if the space savings is worth the premium cost. All right, so we've been walking around, rolling over some potholes, some gravel, pavement, all that kind of stuff. This luggage bag actually performed really well in terms of the way that it handled, pretty much exactly the same as any type of luggage that I've ever had. Really just to test the overall collapsible design and how durable it is now that you are like not having solid walls, which is probably my biggest concern. So I have everything that I had in our pack out section inside of this bag, which includes a bowling ball. So there's about probably at least 30-40 pounds of weight in this bag. I even sat on it. I'm 135 pounds. Now that's not anything, but I did roll on it and it did it with no problem. I slammed it on the ground a couple of times. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of actual damage to be done. All the sides, the walls look pretty decent. And overall, I would say that the durability concern isn't really a concern. Now that we went through the main features of the bag ended up scoring a 79% or a C+ against our rubric. Some of the main takeaways are that this bag performs just as well as any other polycarbonate bag that we've tested, and it isn't any less durable in terms of the weight that you can carry. It is, however, slightly more susceptible to damage on its sides because you're not dealing with physical walls here. It's just Oxford fabric and some plastic board. But in general, as long as you're not tossing this thing off of a second floor window, I think that you should be pretty good. If your main concern is bulletproof protection, you might have to consider a more solidly constructed piece of luggage and sacrifice the space savings that you're gonna get with this particular bag. We found that the polycarbonate shell is a little bit on the softer side just in terms of how easily it scuffs up. And it's a little telling that the manufacturer even shifts a buff pad with this bag. Polycarbonate in general is going to be a softer and more malleable material than a full aluminum luggage bag, for example. So scratches are inevitable. In terms of the storage aspect, we really like that this bag was able to collapse in on itself. It's probably the biggest gripe that we have with checked luggage is that they just take up so much freaking space when you're not using it. The slip cover it comes with is a really nice addition, but the fact that it doesn't actually fit inside of the closet with the hook already attached to it is kind of a bummer. Overall, if you're on the hunt for a checked bag and space in your apartment is tight, this is a pretty decent option to consider. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about this bag. If you enjoyed this video and you like this content and you want to help support the channel, there are some affiliate links down in the video description. I get a small commission at no cost to you, but if that's not your vibe, there's always liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with a friend. It does give out good vibes to the YouTube algorithm so that more people can see this video. My name is Emerald from Emerald's Daily Carry. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.